Step 2 to Lesson 3, Neutral Colors Ice Cream Cones. You will need a 12 by 18 black piece of construction paper. We are going to be using white paint to paint a really simple pattern in the background of where we will later cut and glue our ice cream cones. I have these really nice little rollers, but you probably don't have those at home. So at home, you can use a paintbrush to paint a simple pattern like stripes, polka dots, checkerboard. Keep it simple because the focal point is the ice cream cone, not the background. All right, we are ready for our last steps to our neutral colored ice cream cone. Once you have drawn them, outlined them with crayon or oil pastel, and painted them with watercolor paints, and this is all dry, and you have taken your 12 by 18 black sheet of paper and you've painted a pattern. Obviously, if you don't have the special rolling brushes, you could just paint with a paintbrush, polka dots, a checkerboard, stripes, any sort of simple pattern. We don't want to get too busy because our focal point is our ice cream cones. We don't want it to be too distracting in the background. So a simple pattern background. Once this is also dry, so both painted works are dry, now you are ready to cut out. So you're gonna cut out each ice cream cone with your scissors. When you cut, you wanna make sure that you are cutting on your crayon or pencil line that you've outlined with crayon, or a little bit inside, because we don't want white edges showing. Just like with our leaves in our first lesson, the warm and cool colored fall leaves. When we cut those out, we're cutting either right on the line or just a little bit inside so that we don't have any of we don't want to have any of that white paper showing there on the edge. We want nice, clean edges because it'll really show up on your black background if you have those messy edges. So you're gonna cut out all three. Doing your best work. Remember when you cut, if it helps to turn your paper as you cut, you can get into some of those little nooks and crannies and grooves. So turn your paper along with your scissors. I'm gonna cut this excess paper off so it doesn't get in my way as I'm trying to cut out my last ice cream cone. So you're cutting out all three. Doing a really neat job, either inside your crayon line or right on top of it. Like so. All right, so you should have your 3 ice cream cones cut out, and now you're going to take your black backing and you are going to glue those down. You can glue them in any order that you want. It's really up to you. I personally think it looks best with the chocolate one in the center, but your choice, your artwork. You can use liquid glue or a glue stick to glue down whatever you have available at home. I'm gonna use liquid glue. I feel like that works a little bit better with our painted surface. It sticks a little bit better. When you use liquid glue, you just do a thin line along the edges. You can do a couple dots in the middle, but you don't want your ice cream cone swimming in a lake of glue. So a little bit actually goes a long way. So you're just doing that really thin line and then pressing firmly because we want it to lay nice and flat. I'm going to do my next ice cream cone. I want to try and have these as evenly spaced as possible so we have a nice balanced composition. So try and get them sort of centered on your paper. We don't want them all jammed over to one side. That would make for unbalanced composition. Composition, remember, is the arrangement and placement of our objects, the type of imagery and colors we choose to use. So it's all the ingredients in an artwork, but we want to definitely always think about balance when creating our artworks. All right, so I've got these glued down. And once you have them glued down, sometimes it helps to stand and really see to get them nice and centered. All right, have them glued down. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to show you the last step, which is painting on our cherry. You may have seen in the example our ice cream cones have cherries, and we didn't draw them on when we created our ice cream cones initially, just because they're really hard to cut out. Often they just fall off. So what we're gonna do is paint them on after you get them glued down onto your black background. So we're gonna be using, you just need a teeny tiny bit of green and red. Tempera or acrylic paint works best. You're gonna take your paintbrush, and we're just gonna dip our paintbrush into our red. We want our cherry sitting right on top of our ice cream cone. Now, obviously, red is not a neutral color, I am aware. Also green, not a neutral color. But we just wanted a little pop of color to our mostly neutral artwork. Now for our stem, I'm washing my brush before I dip into my green. And I'm just gonna do a little line stem here. Just a little dash line of my green. And voila, it is finished. Now I'm gonna put it in the drying rack to dry. Once you finish your neutral colored ice cream cone art project, please take a picture of it and upload it to Google Classroom Lesson 3 so that it can be graded. Hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see your neutral colored ice cream cone artworks.